People of the world. Got my t-shirt. Curtis Hook, Mirrors, Sumner. Sorry, Morris Sumner. I'm reading it backwards. Yeah. Members of Joy Division, if you were wondering. Sorry, I stretched and I thought instead of like pretending I was showing it off, I should just sort of tell you what it is instead. Anyway, all these videos must be related to food in some way. Got to look at the camera. Got to look at the camera. Water infuser. These are really cool. I picked one up yesterday. No, day before yesterday. It was Wednesday. I picked it up. And they're really cool. The one thing I don't like about it is it looks like those sort of things that tossers carry around. You know, those protein shake things. And you know for a fact there's no fucking protein shake in there. You know, everybody's fucking got one these days. Every fucking white guy with the same haircut has a bottle like this that says, you know, weight diligence or fucking muscles from Brussels. I don't know. You know the type of guys I mean. Tossers, basically. Anyway, yeah, this is an infuser. It's not a protein shake bottle thing. Basically, what you do is it's just a plastic mesh thingy that goes inside the bottle, inside the lid, and you fill it with fruit. And basically, just eating fish and chips. The burp's going to be frequent, I hope. And you pour the water in, and basically you fill it up to the top, and the water infuses with the flavour of whatever fruit you put it in. Not to such a massive extent as normal fruit juice, because obviously bottled retail fruit juice is so sugary. Nice, but so sugary. This is obviously much more subtle. It's an infuser. It's not meant to ultimately flavour the water and overpower the taste. It just sort of gives it that extra bit of zazz. And it's really good, actually, though. I would recommend it. I don't know what this company's called, Zoma, but I haven't been able to find them on the internet. I've just bought it through Amazon, like I say. It's one of the cheaper ones. But it's got, like, non-toxic plastics in the bottle and stuff, because I had this one before, which I paid about £1 for in one of those sort of pound shop things. And it's starting to taste awful now. I've had it for about 3 months, and it tastes odd. The water does when I drink out of it now. Anyway, this video does have a point this time. It's not about video games or how to make tea. I actually read something really interesting earlier. I'm just making sure I've mentioned everything. I'm just going to shut this door so the dog doesn't come in. Bear with me. Probably going to be really lazy there and not even edit that out. In fact, I'm not going to. From now on, there's going to be no editing in these videos unless it's for comic effect. Okay? So, yeah, they're really cool. Get one. If you don't like water and you want to sort of start drinking it more, don't know why you wouldn't just drink it. Deal with it. But yeah, really cool idea. Obviously, they've been around for ages. Anyway, I'm rambling. John B. Calhoun. Now, Fridays, it's a bad day at work for me. Obviously, it's Fridays, it's great. But towards the end of the day, there's nothing for me to do because I finish all the work in the morning because it's quiet then as well. So I finish all the desk work that I have to do. And because I have to sit in one place all the time, because I basically work on phones giving out specific results to certain people within the hospital, it requires sitting down in one place for a very large period of time, most of the time, most days. Not all the time, but most days. And I get very bored towards the afternoon, and that's when I sort of go to Wikipedia or Google and Google random shit. Anyway, I was reading, there's a guy called Grant Morrison, who's a very famous comic book writer. He's done work for DC and Marvel, but he's more prolific within the DC universe. He's written for Batman and Superman. He did the Invisibles. He did something called, and I just ordered it offline. I can't remember. The Filth. That's it. Anyway, brilliant writer. If you've read Arkham Asylum, the graphic novel, he did that, as well as a load of other stuff. But anyway, he's a very interesting guy. He's really interesting. Seems really nice. Very, very intelligent. Just a really interesting guy. He's into magic and stuff like that. But he's a totally grounded guy. Really nice. And he was talking about this guy called John B. Calhoun. Calhoun. If you're interested in the spelling of the last name, I think it's Calhoun. And this character John B. Calhoun, basically, he did this experiment in the 1960s where he'd get a set size container, quite big enough. Sorry, I'm not going to be able to relay specifics here. I think he was an ethologist. I think, because ethnobotanist is pharmaceuticals, I think. Something like that. Studies the pharmaceutical properties of certain plants. Either way, I think he was an ethologist. Did this experiment, big container, and he got a certain number of prime specimen rats, and he'd put them in there. Again, he'd give them all the nutritional variety they could ever want. Gave them all the food they ever needed, water, fresh water every day. Do this over a certain number of days, and naturally the rats would start to breed, and the environment would get more full, faster and faster and faster and faster and faster. And of course, by a certain time, it was so full that the population just sort of lost its mind, really, this population of rats, and they started to cannibalise each other and foot like rabbits and go absolutely mental, and obviously that only made things worse because, they weren't eating each other at the fast enough rate that they could control the population. And the point of this experiment was to show that basically if we don't put the plug into the, in the population of the human race at some stage in the near future, we're going to have a big problem on our hands. And to some extent, I think it does certainly prove that, because we are seeing it now. We've seen it progress more that way since the 1960s. But anyway, the really interesting thing, and the thing that made me want to relay this story, is that there were I think it was a certain percentage of rats. I think it was 1 in 50, but I could be totally wrong there. 1 in 50 rats that would set themselves aside from, sort of segregate themselves from the rats that were going mental, and stick to the nutritional diet and drink water, and they would just completely separate themselves from this sort of horde mentality of the other rats. John B. Calhoun named these types of rats the beautiful ones, which I thought was fantastic, a really nice poetic thing to it, just awesome. But yeah, that's pretty much it. It's just a fascinating read, really. Like I say, Grant Morrison, told you there was going to be a few. Nice. Yeah, really interesting study. Just thought I'd relay it for no particular reason. I'm tired. I've just eaten fish and chips. I'm very tired. I'm going to sit back and watch The Departed for like the second time this week, because I sort of need to get some of the finite details in my head so I can sort of recommend it, because I do think it's a good movie. Anyway, I'm starting to ramble now, which is sort of what I'm doing in all these videos now. So I'm going to shut up. I'll see you guys soon.